All right, Shalom. This is Gamali Allah out of Great Millstone, Atlanta. Want to give all praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rakakwadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to all the Akim that are pushing out this truth and sincerity. All right, coming at you with a quick lesson. All right, and this is going to be along the lines of Jake loves science and big words. Okay, so-called science. All right. Yesterday, all right, we had a guy come to camp, and if you weren't learned, if you didn't know the truth, you would be mesmerized by some of the things that he was saying. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't know any better, because Jake will sound very educated. Okay, they'll, make points and go into history and go into different subjects and, just to make their point. Like you look at people like Polite or, just anyone that can basically convey their message very well and pull out these $1 million words. All right, Jake will be people will be mesmerized by that. But, they love big words. They love science. They love, basically boast their knowledge, and that's the basis of this lesson. So this is Proverbs 15:2. It says, the tongue of the wise useth knowledge aright. Okay, but the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness. Right? So I've got a picture here. All right. And as you see on the screen, it says, watch out for people like this. All right. And as you see this guy here, this picture, his mind is damn near touching E. Okay. Empty. All right. And his mouth is on full, and that's the guy. That's the spirit. Excuse me. That's the spirit that this guy yesterday who came to camp, that's the spirit he was in, okay? He had so much to say, but his mind was empty, okay? His logic, his reasoning, okay, his information was false, okay? All right, and that's a lot of these guys. And the scripture said, and the picture said, watch out for people like that. And that's what you want to watch out for. You want to watch out for someone who can use these big ass words, and they can talk a mile a minute, and it sounds good. It sounds like they know what they're talking about, but it's all foolishness. Proverbs 15:2, the tongue of the wise useth knowledge aright. Yeah, so you got to use your knowledge right, man. Correct. Okay, you got to, you use your knowledge with humility, and also, when you make your points, just make it simple, man. Like brothers always bring out that acronym KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. You don't have to go and make these big immaculate lectures to get your point across. All you got to do is just put it in layman's terms so that the average person can understand. It says, but the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness. Yeah, and that's majority of these off-brand Israelites and these debate type guys. Okay, they love to go into matters that really don't pertain to salvation. And this is really a part 2 to the last lesson that I did, entitled, I can't remember the exact title, but it was basically going into how debating is not doing the work. Okay, and that applies to this message as well. Is Jake is focused on the wrong thing. They love, like I said, they love science. They love to go into pull out these dates and 1988, this so-and-so and blah, blah, blah. And where do they get it from? They get it from the so-called white man. So I'm going to get this because, all these sciences and all these different philosophies and the way that some of these jakes bring out their points is like the so-called white man, okay? According to my calculations, ass niggas, well, this and this and that and blah blah blah. Well, why you gotta do all that? Keep your and Jake, like brothers was joking, man. Jake got a TI demon on him, and because TI, everyone clowns TI because he pulls out these big words, these SAT words, and everyone clowns him for that because he's reaching. He's trying to sound educated. He's trying to sound like the so-called white man. This is Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. All right, yeah, because the so-called white man, that whole word spirit that came, that whole big word spirit and going above the listener's head. Who does that come from? That comes from the so-called white man, okay? The so-called white man, he loves to get on CNN and use these big immaculate 5-syllable words, and Jake, they do it because they're mocking the so-called white man. They're mocking the master because the so-called white man, he goes into, he makes these crazy points and, even when he's wrong, hey, that's what lawyers do. Lawyers, they have a way with words, which is witchcraft, man. It's witchcraft. I'm gonna read it again. Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Yeah, and that's witchcraft because you're using your words. You're trying to use your words to win your argument, even when you have war in your heart, even when that you're wrong, And that was the guy that, like I said, that was the guy yesterday. All right, his mouth was on full. Going back to that picture, his words and his vocabulary and his mouth, his speech was on full, but his knowledge wasn't the best. His knowledge was the scriptures say his knowledge faileth him. I'm gonna get that in a second. But it says his words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. Yeah, so hey, that got the words and smooth words and they're able to sound real eloquent. Let's get that. Yep, this is Ecclesiastes 10 and 3. Yeah, also, when he that is a fool walketh by the way, his wisdom faileth him, and he saith to everyone that he is a fool. Yeah, so that, like I said, that goes into that whole the picture that I brought out about how Jake will have so much to say, but they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the proper wisdom, okay, to really make their point, okay? Because if they had any wisdom, if they had any knowledge, then they would know how to apply it. Just like we said, I brought out using your knowledge aright, okay? Applying your knowledge the correct way, okay? Not going above and beyond the listeners' heads. It's not about that, okay? You know, yeah, Ecclesiastes 10:3. Yeah, when he that is a fool walketh by the way, his wisdom faileth him. Yeah, because that guy, he thought he had everything figured out. Okay, he had so much to say, but his wisdom was failing him because everything that he was bringing out, it wasn't working. That's how you know we got the truth. Okay. All right. Now let's get this one. Let me get another one. Okay. All right, and it says Colossians 4:6, let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man. Yeah. So you want to have your speech seasoned with salt. You want to know when to speak. You want to know, you want to be wise, man, and not just be so ready to speak and use these false ass sciences. You have to know when to listen, okay, and be seasoned with salt, okay. Know how to make your points. Know how to convey your message, okay. It says that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man. And Jake loves to answer every man. A lot of these educated Jakes, I'll say, they love to answer every man, with these big ass words and these big immaculate ass points, and going above people's heads. All right. I think that was all I had. Well, one more point I wanted to make is, even going back to that picture of the, full mouth, but the empty mind, you really want to be the opposite. I'll say it's okay to be the opposite. Moses, look at Moses. Moses didn't have the best speech. Okay. A lot of prophets, they didn't have the best speech. Paul. Okay. A lot of these prophets, they didn't have the best speech, but guess what? Their wisdom was on a level. Their wisdom and their knowledge was on a level. So it's okay to be the opposite. But Jake will they love to, basically, the scriptures say knowledge puffeth up. So they learn all this stuff and their spirit gets pulled to and fro, but they don't have any foundation in order to make their points. It's nothing wrong with using big words here and there, but know how to apply it. Know how to control it, All right. So, that was pretty much the point. All right. Lord willing, you were edified. I want to give all praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Double honors to our elders and apostles, a great millstone, and shalom.